more fun you in the crowd during a Celtics game with a Laker jersey, right?
Yeah. And I had a couple, Laker fans who joined me, for the Miami game because, they remember Pat Riley.
Of course.
But we want to see, I think they want to see the Celtics and the Lakers in the finals.
I think so, too, but I love Pat Riley's team.
Just putting it out there.
Ron's old team. Heater.
Oh, man.
Heater, a lot of fun to watch.
I love the fact that, every time the Miami Heat was winning games, Jimmy Butler and Pat Riley got the signal that they do to each other. Man,
I like that, too. All right, let's go. We're going to get things started with a look at the playoff bracket. The Heat, as we were just talking about, they actually have a 2-1 lead. They were up 2-0, but the Celtics got back in the series with a 117-106 Game 3 victory. And in the West, the Lakers dominant, 126-114 Game 1. As we look forward to Game 2, guys, we bring you the best of sound after the Lakers and Nuggets.
This is an opponent we all greatly respect.
No lead is safe with this team.
We want to be the most physical team on the floor every time we take the floor.
And White was really good. He kind of picked up their energy.
And give him credit. He was ready to go tonight, and he helped impact the game for them.
Just agitate them, pressure the ball, make them make tough plays, and just stay locked in.
Well, we're not going to beat that team by putting them on the foul line 37 times.
They want to talk about every call and, try to manipulate what happens.
We were definitely the aggressors in the game. We got called for 28 fouls. They got called for 26. So.
We know how it's going to be. We know we're the younger team.
We trust our game plan. We trust our, what we've been doing all throughout the course of this whole year.
Use our intelligence. We got some very smart basketball players on our team.
They have a player in LeBron James could very well be the best passing forward ever to play the game.
A legend of how smart he is and seeing plays before they happen. And I got a little bit of that in me, too.
We're not letting up. We're going to play hard. We're going to play together. We're going to be aggressive the whole series, but you have to respect them. They're in the Western Conference Finals for a reason. We don't hope that is easy. We want to go out there and compete at the highest level, play our brand of basketball every night.
It's only Game 1, guys. Just Game 1.
Just Game 1. And Karan, you weren't here with us for Game 1. Dominance by the Lakers on both ends of the floor. As you were watching, what stood out to you?
Just the defense. And I think, assisting the basketball. They did a remarkable job moving the ball side to side. But I felt like the contact and how they approached the game, where they got the Denver Nuggets in foul trouble relatively fast. And I think that was part of, the plan when you think about the physicality that they brought to the table, and Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee coming out, making it difficult for Joker and Murray. I mean, their top 3 offensive threats was in foul trouble early.
Big game, the Lakers are up 1-0, and we always say, and Jamal Murray's right, you can't overreact to just one game. So what's the mindset of this Lakers team heading into Game 2?
Smash. To me,
in the face.
To me, Game 1, you're kind of figuring out each other. You hadn't seen, each other yet. You want to win the game, but you're kind of, observing what you need to do, making adjustments sometime on the fly. They did a great job, as Karan pointed out. Dwight Howard, Rondo coming in there. They disrupted Joker and Murray. Didn't let them play. But I think tonight is the statement game. Okay, you want to crush them tonight. Do the same things you did, a little better. Howard, McGee come in, do the same, disruptive, pound it inside, and let them know that we're here to take this.
I just know that this is a must-win situation for the Denver Nuggets, and I'll tell you why. You can't go down to the Lakers.
This isn't the Jazz?
You can't continue to practice that recycled behavior, going down 1-3 in a playoff series and thinking that you're going to storm back and still have enough gas in the tank to finish out a series. You play around like that with the Lakers, they see daylight, they see the finals, it's a wrap.
Curious to see how the Lakers come out, because they've been down 1-0 in both series, and I was so impressed with how they played in those Game 2. So we'll see now leading 1-0. I want to show you guys the battle of the superstars, because that was a big storyline coming in. You have the young stars in Jokic and Murray, who have just been phenomenal in these playoffs, the resilience. They combined for 42. Lakers did a really good job on them, actually. LeBron and AD did their thing. LeBron, in that second quarter, he had 13 of his 15. He didn't even have to do much else besides that, except, drop 12 dimes. But Anthony Davis, Karan, 37 and 10, 12 and 21. They just didn't seem to have an answer for him.
Nobody does. He's a problem. And when you think about MVP candidates and when you think about MVP consideration, I don't know how he's getting left out that conversation. What he's done from his arrival to Los Angeles is it's been completely remarkable, and now he's starting to come into his own on the biggest stage in basketball. I love the fact that when you try to put someone smaller on him, he's not settling. We saw it probably once or twice, in a few games early in the Rocket series where P.J. Tucker was able to establish himself and push him outside of his comfort zone. Now he's comfortable everywhere, and now he's getting the ball exactly where he wants it, and he's dissecting the defense.
All NBA first team for a reason.
No doubt. No doubt. I mean, AD came here and changed the mindset of the defensive approach, as did LeBron when he came his first year. He changed the whole attitude of how we were going to start winning again. But I got to tell you, you got two great players. Neither LeBron nor AD had steals. The Lakers had 10 steals, and they had backup. A lot of times AD's the backup. This time, Rondo 2 steals, Danny Green 2 steals, Caruso 2 steals. And they were deflecting passes, anticipating where Murray and Jokic were going to pass, getting their hands in those passing lanes. It was a smart basketball game, especially played by Rondo. I think he had 9 assists,
7
no
9.
turnovers.
Yeah. Again, what do you got to do again?
It's time to smash. Game 2 is a knockout. Ain't time for the rope-a-dope. It's time to knock them
Oh, I think
out.
that was a cold cock.
Was that a cold cock or a sucker punch?
It's a combination.
Lakers and Nuggets tip off Game 2 at 4:30 for the latest on the purple and gold. Let's check in with Mike Trudell. It's a combination, Mike.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. I kind of want to just go back and see a couple more sample punches from Big Game there instead of hear from me. But look, you guys were just talking about AD, and Mike Malone was asked about him, and there are a couple things that they want to make sure to do. That's take away the easy buckets that he gets, whether it's those full court passes when he's running the floor in transition, or the lobs when he is spinning to the baseline and catching it over the top. But then Malone said, well, we could do that, and then maybe we'll hold him to 36 instead of 37. So I think an acknowledgement there that it is difficult to stop Anthony Davis however you want to cover him, and that's what the Lakers want to see yet again. With Frank Vogel, though, I was curious, how does his team respond mentally, as Geeter hinted at earlier, from being up this time in the series going to Game 2? How do they keep the mental edge that they have done a good job of doing, of keeping that edge so far in the postseason? So here's how Vogel answered that one.
Yeah, we don't really have to talk about it much with this team because we know what they're capable of based on what they did the last 2 series. We know they're a comeback team within games when they're down at halftime, and they're a comeback team within series. So, we don't have to talk too much about it. Our guys are going to be motivated to get tonight's win.
Frank, LeBron historically in the playoffs averaged about 42 minutes. You've been able to keep him even below his regular season count so far. How important do you think that could be moving forward, and what do you think the keys have been so far?
Well, we always want to, keep his usage and minutes at a reasonable rate when possible. Obviously, he has the ability to go up if needed. But, this is a marathon, and, we need him throughout the whole series and hopefully the next if we're able to advance. So, we always want to be smart with his minutes.
Offensively, Davis has been really, really consistent since the first game of the Portland series. How important is his spacing there when you look back at it as we go here in the last game?
I think everything he does is important to us. Obviously his ability to knock down threes when Anthony and LeBron are double teamed is very important, as well as running the floor. But KCP's impact is most felt with the energy that he plays with. He's one of the hardest playing guys in the league. He changes ends with great speed and effort and hustle, and that motor, that energy really affects our group. But certainly, if you're asking about his shooting on the backside with double teams with Anthony and LeBron, that's been a big part of our success, yes.
Jeff?
Go back to the first question that Mike asked. You don't have to remind your guys to keep the foot on the gas, that kind of thing. What sort of luxury does that provide you? And how early do you figure out that way with this group?
Well, just because we don't have to remind them doesn't mean I won't remind them. Every time they score a basket, probably we'll remind them. Our group is very locked in and focused, and it is a great luxury. It's about player leadership. Anthony and LeBron set a great tone. Rondo, some of our other vets, they understand the importance of this time of year, and thus far, They've had a great mindset to, like we said, keep our foot on the gas.
All right, guys, there's Frank Vogel. Now, Chris Haynes of Yahoo just reported that JaVale McGee might stay in the starting lineup for the Lakers. Frank Vogel hasn't confirmed that. He usually waits until about a half hour before to officially turn in his lineup card. Does make some sense, though. You keep JaVale engaged. He did a pretty good job on Jokic for the first couple minutes. Then Dwight Howard checked in early in the second quarter when Jokic returned and basically stuck with him for the rest of the game. So that's what they want to do. They want to wear Jokic down, give him multiple looks. JaVale, AD, Dwight. It certainly worked in game one, so we'll see if they can do it again in game two.
Mike, I got to say, that was awesome, but Karan and I were getting post-up lessons from Big Game. He was talking about when he learned how to face up in about year 3, it was over. It was real good stuff.
Yeah, maybe I hope we were taping that, because you just roll that back for the next segment. Yeah, just roll that back. You don't need to break anything else down. Yeah.
Good work, Mike. Appreciate it. Plenty more ahead here on Access Sportsnet Lakers as we go inside the bubble. Kyle Kuzma getting some shots up pregame. Kuz scored 11 points in game 1. He's averaging 12 on 63% shooting over his last 5 games, all Laker victories. We're back with more after the break, but first, some soothing music from LeBron James. And smoothing. How about you? All right, we got the upcoming schedule for these Western Conference Finals. We got Game 2 coming up at 4:30. Game 3 is Tuesday at 6. Game 4 is Thursday at 6. Game 5 is Saturday. Don't worry about Game 6 and 7 yet. If necessary, Game 5, 6, and 7. Now let's check in with our Laker insider, Mike Bresnahan.
Thank you, Geet. Here with Dan Wojcicki, the NBA writer for the Los Angeles Times. Dan, you've been in that bubble for a few weeks now, and congrats on a little promotion. You went from Tier 2 to Tier 1 a couple weeks ago. In fact, you see your colleague, Brad Turner, and our friend of the show, is he up there in the nosebleeds right now?
It's so far away, Brez, I can't even tell. That's the best part, you know? I mean, let me take a look. BT, you up there? He's the guy in the $1,000 suit in Tier 2 that he doesn't need to be in. It's great. No, they got to keep him far away. If he was down here with us, like, this is a casual environment here, Brez. Brad would not thrive. It is far too dressy. You know, this is much more of a Florida, like Tommy Bahama vibe down here.
Hey, you got a good vibe going right now, Dan. And you and I spoke earlier today, actually, and you want to point something out. You're impressed with the Laker bench, but not necessarily what they're doing in games, what you see from them on the sideline during the games. What exactly do you see? You're at these games. Tell us about it.
Yeah, they are very involved in the game, talking tons of trash, talking to their own players, but like really getting into it with guys. There was a play during I think it was a free throw. Nikola Jokic was at the free throw line, and Michael Porter Jr. had just checked in the game and was standing next to Anthony Davis. And everybody on the bench is just screaming, steak dinner, he's going to eat you alive, you better not guard him, he's going to eat you alive. Just chatting. And sure enough, and then when Michael Porter runs away from Anthony Davis to go to his assignment, you know, the bench kind of cheers, like they sort of talked him out of guarding him. But look, I actually asked Michael Malone about this, and in this environment, Brez, when you're here, it's so sterile, right? Like, you do have the pumped-in noise and to try to make it seem like, you know, that energy, but really it all comes from the benches. And it's when teams are playing well, that's where momentum comes from, because here it can turn really, really quickly. So, you know, last series it was Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, guys that weren't on the court, who had huge impacts on the bench because they kept things light, they kept things going, and you know, the Lakers, I think, have been as loud as any benches I've seen since I've been here. They've been way involved in games, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, great observations there, Dan. Appreciate that. You also wrote an article recently kind of comparing LeBron James and the Joker, Nikola Jokic. You said they're a little more similar than it might seem. What do you mean by that?
I mean, I think, and again, Michael Malone talked about this pregame, is both of those players are just so much more dangerous as passers than they are as scorers. And I think we can look to game one for proof of that. You saw LeBron James with 12 assists, and even though, you know, less than 20 points, I think he finished with 16 points, his impact on the game offensively was still huge. Nikola Jokic scored more than 20 points, had 11 in the first quarter, but he could never get anybody else involved, really. And to me, that's what makes both those guys so special, is that they enjoy that part of the game. They're good enough offensively, skilled enough offensively to take over. But these are guys that, like, they find their joy in the pass. And limiting those opportunities for Nikola Jokic is going to be critical for the Lakers. I know teams want to try to do that to LeBron James. I know teams in previous rounds have tried to do that to LeBron James. Coaches have told me that. It's a lot harder than it is when you've got two guys that might have the best court vision in the league. Both those guys, they're fantastic.
All right, Dan, Milwaukee eliminated. The Clippers gone home. The Lakers, the overwhelming favorites to win it all. Do you see anybody tripping them up?
You know, it's a good question. I think, obviously, the Lakers have been – the difference between the Bucks and the Clippers and the Lakers, I think, is just the level of focus that we've seen from the Lakers since they've been here. They've been so locked in, and that starts with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Those guys have been just rock solid, really from day one here. There hasn't been any real big tilts and sort of effort. I think Miami is interesting. And Brez, the reason why I say that is that they're so different from the Lakers. They are definitely a team where their best player, Jimmy Butler, might score 12 points and you'll feel him because of what he does on the defensive end, what he just sort of the overall sort of impact he makes. They've shot the ball very well since they've been here. They seem to be kind of built for this environment. They've really, really enjoyed it. They've embraced it. In terms of having a really good energy as far as teams I've been around, I think the Heat has probably been the best. So that's the finals I think I'd like to see most, because I think it'd be the most competitive. But, you know, if I was betting, I'd still bet the Lakers. LeBron and Anthony Davis have been just so much better than everybody else.
No doubt. Before we let you go, one more wave to Brad Turner, please.
Bye, BT.
We miss
buy
him.
some Parisian sweaters.
We miss him, and thank you, Dan.
I
Really
miss him
appreciate
too.
it. All right, bud.
All right, be good, guys.
All right, thank you, Dan. Straight ahead on Access, LeBron James said the MVP voting results pissed him off. So does that mean we see an extra aggressive LeBron today? We'll discuss. What's next?
In votes for the most time in NBA history, I think next to Larry Bird. You know, we talk about MVP, and he should have easily had at least 2 more or 3 of those, and particularly this one, possibly this year as well, considering all the things that he's been attached to and moved, you know, from social issues and everything. Shot a movie, didn't miss a beat, led the NBA in assists. But, you know, you got to tip your hat off to Giannis. He did a remarkable job in the Eastern Conference with the Milwaukee Bucks, and he had the best regular season. But if you had to redo it, based on what you have seen from the production standpoint inside of the bubble as well, it's a wrap. LeBron is the MVP.
Yeah,
but he's still the best player on the planet.
And I think you bring up a great point. When you look at Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, the criteria is different. If you asked any player in the league, any coach, any GM, you're starting today, you got a game, who you taking? It's those guys. It's LeBron James. But one thing about all those guys, Big Game, and we saw it with The Last Dance, we saw it through Kobe's career, we see it with LeBron, they're always looking for an edge. They're always looking for something, some slight. LeBron's found his. Some chip on the shoulder.
No question,
to motivate
man.
you.
He is pissed, as he said.
Yeah.
And, you know, it goes back for him, as he stated, like the narrative. What is the makeup of an MVP? I think LeBron has it more so than anybody. Giannis, for sure. His stats and the way he dominates games and how talented he is and how he entertains, you can't take it away from him. I'd like to see him in the West doing that. It'd be a little different, but you can't take away its regular season. I just don't know what the ingredients are, because if they are leadership, you know, the way you enhance players around you, recognition of what a team needs on the spot, and then at 35 doing what he's doing, lead the league in assists and all that, I think, you know, I'd have to vote for LeBron. He said, you know, in 2012, he won MVP, and he was up for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And they gave it to Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol made second-team defense that year.
That still is the most puzzling thing.
That's what pisses him off.
Yes.
16 votes?
Yeah.
You know, I think he's cool with Giannis getting it. I mean, he's cool with that. I don't think he's really upset. But 16 votes?
That's the thing.
And, you know, what he's experienced in the past, he has a point there.
I love the fact that he came with his receipts. You know, like he didn't just issue a statement.
And by the way,
without
social
digging
media,
deep with the
people who are hard on him on social media, he was asked the question.
Yeah.
This is what we love about the man. What do you think Kobe would have said? MJ, all the greats, you think they're happy about it?
It wasn't.
This is why they're an all-time great.
He didn't just give you a soundbite. He spoke
awesome.
from the heart.
I'm trying to figure out how he's going to come out in this game. You always have a good pulse on things. Because every time I think he's going to come out with 40, he goes for 15, 12, and 10. Then when I think he's going to kind of chill and get everyone involved, he's got 30 in the first half. It's just hard to figure out.
Look, I think he's going to come out with that action. You know what I mean? Like lunch pail mentality. But I think that the last game kind of dictates how he's going to perform this game from an offensive standpoint. I really do think that he's going to try to really impose his will on the game offensively early, just like he did with the Houston Rockets in that game where we was just like, he's looking at the side, no crowd. He's looking at the cameras like, y'all see what I'm doing out here,
See what's happening
right?
here?
Yeah, y'all see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So I think he's going to respond to all the noise out there.
Big Game Tough Juice said he brought his receipts with him.
Absolutely.
Hold on now. I got somewhere around
I got one from 2012.
But I got to tell you, man, not only is he going to come out like that tonight's game, he set the stage for the rest of the series. You know, 16 votes. My man AD didn't get Defensive Player of the Year, you know, so I think not only is he going to come out tonight for the rest of the playoffs, he's coming with it. He's bringing the pain.
We're around a half hour from tip-off. How's that go, Big Game?
That's the Bruce Lee one-inch punch.
Everything for the Nuggets runs through Jokic after 13 assists in Game 7 against the Clips. The Joker only had 2 in Game 1 against the Lakers. We're back with more after the break. But first, a classic Mamba moment from the 2009 West Finals.
Shot clock at 6. Bryant for 3. Puts it in! Kobe Bryant from downtown! And the Lakers regain the lead. Look at the determination on his face.
It's at 4:30. Here's what you need to know. After dropping Game 1 in both the first and second round, the Lakers flipped the script. They dominated the Nuggets to take a 1-0 series lead. The Lakers are now 9-2 in postseason play. The Mamba jerseys will make an appearance here in Game 2. LA is 2-0 when wearing them. The top-seeded Lakers were led by their dynamic duo in Game 1. LeBron James flirted with a triple-double, 15.6 boards, 12 dimes, while Anthony Davis put on a clinic, 37 points, 10 boards. What a night for the All-NBA first-teamers. The Nuggets' top duo led their team in scoring but struggled with foul trouble. Nikola Jokic only played 25 minutes. He finished with 21.6 rebounds. Jamal Murray also scored 21 points. He dished out 5 dimes. Denver shouldn't be too worried. They also lost Game 1 to Clippers, who are now at home.
Say what?
They're at home.
Oh, okay.
Karan, Laker defense has been next level all throughout the playoffs. Game 1 versus Denver was incredible. And the thing about the defense, it turned into transition gold.
It really did. And what I love, the adjustment about the Lakers, you know, offensively, they're not hanging their hat on that end of the floor. They're coming out because you can't control how the ball bounces. But defensively, you can control the effort and energy on that edge. And that's exactly what happened. As you see, you know, Morris guarding Plumlee right here. You know, you see the communication, the shrinkage of the floor. Look at that. That's 1, 2, 3. And even Kyle Kuzma can reach in there. That's 4 Lakers, you know, close to the paint. Rondo, excellent job. His high basketball IQ. LeBron running the lane. Kuz cutting across, giving that proper spacing. And Rondo just identifying, wait a minute, there's 2 guys down there loading up on LeBron James. Morris is wide open for a 3, and he follows through and knocks down that shot. Once again, look at this, communication. Dwight Howard, who in the past haven't been so good in pick-and-roll situations, but he's got so much better. He's using his hands, and he's getting out, sprinting. After sitting out the majority of that last series, he's running the floor extremely well and communicating and having an impact on this series extremely early, especially in Game 1. Now, this is what I love right here. You see Monty, you know, trying to stop LeBron. He said, look, man, take a look at Space Jam 2. It's real. This Space Jam 2 right here, baby.
It's real.
2 hands for safety.
I love the breakdowns, man. Great stuff
man,
right
come
there.
on, man.
And
stay ready.
Big game. I want to pivot off that and go to Dwight. How impressive. He sat out the entire series. We've talked at length about his attitude during that series. His teammates have applauded him. He said, we came here to win. It's not about me. And then he came in that second quarter, and he changed everything. That energy, disruption, causing havoc, what he did to Jokic, it was awesome.
Yeah, came here on a non-guaranteed contract, correct? So you know he was serious about winning, and he had changed his mindset and his approach to the game. Unselfish. The game has changed. Bigs are used to not playing, particularly in the fourth quarter when they go small. So he and McGee accepted that role and continued to keep their head in the game. Now you get a series where he's needed, and all 17 years of his experience come into play. He's in great shape. Remember, I think he's twice Defensive Player of the Year. He loves to play physical. He's, he reminds me a lot of Dennis Rodman when it comes to that. He comes in the game, mucks it up a little bit, gets you offset, disrupts you. Then you try to play his game. Then all of a sudden, you're in foul trouble and you're sitting on the bench. So this guy knows what he's doing, a shot blocker, and also the alley-oops. AD and Rondo have that special connection from New Orleans. Seems like McGee and Dwight Howard have picked up on that. So I just love what he's doing, particularly in this series.
Awesome for Vogel and that staff to make a change. They go to Dwight to start the second half. It was a great move. You don't have to worry about JaVale's attitude. It's beautiful when you have an unselfish basketball team, and it shows. I also want to show you guys this. Lakers will be sporting their black Mamba City edition jerseys for Game 2. They are so nice, and there is no doubt that there is magic in the air when the Lakers sport these unis. Check it out. 2-0. They scored 126 points per game, a +14 differential. And oh, by the way, they can shoot it from deep. 44%. Let's check in with AC, not AC Fresh, Allie Clifton. Allie, Lakers are 2-0 in the Mamba jerseys. You've seen the parallels with Kobe and LeBron in 2009 to this season. Are you superstitious, Allie?
Look, I'm going to say this. If being superstitious in this moment leads to positive results, as it apparently is doing when the Lakers wear those black Mamba jerseys, 1,000% I'm superstitious. But let's also remind everyone that the last time LeBron won a championship, he was rocking a black colorway jersey as well.
Ooh.
So if they're going to continue to play through and with the spirit of the late, great Kobe Bryant, I am leaning into this full force. And it's a good night. It will be a good night for the Lakers in that case.
I love that you find a way. You're still such a native of Ohio. You find a way to get in the 3-1 comeback for Cleveland, and they love you for that. Allie, we talk a lot about the Mamba mentality. LeBron knows all about it. The Lakers must not forget how resilient this Nuggets team has been.
Yeah, because, what I found very interesting, going back to the start of the show, we ran that clip of Jamal Murray saying, guys, it's just one game. Let's remind ourselves, this is just the first time Jamal Murray has ever been in the Western Conference Finals, the Conference Finals to be exact, even in the postseason just twice. So it tells you that there is a confidence to him. There's a confidence within that locker room for Denver right now. And there's a belief that they can turn things around. And of course, as we know, it starts with Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, which let's remind ourselves in that series not too long ago against the Clippers, Game 1, the Clippers dominated a lot like the Lakers did here in Game 1 against the Nuggets. But then in Game 2, after only combining for 27, Nikola and Jamal in Game 1, they put up 53. Now, I know they had 42 in Game 1 the other night, but they felt like they weren't on the floor long enough. There was a foul situation, a disparity that took away some of their advantages. So diving into that Mamba mentality, or like James just mentioned, be ready to smash the Nuggets. That's what the Lakers should roll with.
Yeah, he actually did. He did that, Allie. Smash in the face. Allie, the Lakers got Markieff Morris for FREE. That is free. Remember, everyone talked about Marcus, his brother. That was supposed to be a huge win for the Clippers. But Keith has been unreal in this role. Allie, I think he hit like 7 straight threes during this span in the playoffs here.
I think you might be right. He's shooting 57%, averaging 10 points a game over his last 5. He was 3 of 4 in Game 1 from downtown. Every team has superstars. They have leaders. They have X factors. Well, how about just a favorite player? Because right now, Markieff Morris is that for me. He's a guy that's proving he's a playoff kind of player. He has an edge. He has a swagger like Frank Vogel likes to use when it comes to Rajon Rondo. That's what you're getting with Markieff Morris. He plays with an edge, a confidence. He understands timing situations. I've been impressed with his readiness and his ability to come in and knock down that 3-ball and prove a lot of people wrong when it comes to, I'm only free. Nah, this dude is earning his keep, and he's doing it in a big way for the Lakers.
Allie Clifton, our AC Fresh.
Hey,
good work.
By the way,
yeah.
Can I just wrap this all up for you?
Yeah.
You guys look like a ray of sunshine in that studio right now.
Oh, there's a lot of happiness and joy.
That's what I was saying.
I love it.
Sunshine.
Looks
And
great.
rain.
Joy, pump, 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 and rain.
We're having a good time. Good time. We're winning money. We got a fantasy on the line. We got the Lakers. Everything's just good in the hood over here. All right, we're getting closer to tip-off. Thank you, Allie. Michael Porter Jr., he had a double-double in Game 1, 14 and 10 off the bench. Kind of flew under the radar. Offense comes easy for him, but will the Lakers attack him on the other end?
Up top for Davis. Anthony Davis, the size, wins out on that one. The rebound goes to Davis. Davis again, late clock over Jokic. Oh, he hits it. Blocked by Davis. Denied by Davis. Comes away from the pack with it, taken on 3 Nuggets. What a performance by Anthony Davis.
Let's go inside access on AD. A lot was made about how the Brow would perform in his first postseason with the purple and gold. As usual, the numbers never lie. Take a look at where Davis ranks among active players left in the postseason. First in points, first in blocks, second in rebounds, second in free throws, third in field goal percentage at 58.4. Mike Bresnahan joins us now. Brez, I think he's answered the question how he will be under the bright lights wearing the purple and gold uniform in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I still go back to media day when there was a big throng around him of reporters talking to him. And, you know, it's deep rows of reporters. And at the very end, he walks off. He goes, "This isn't New Orleans anymore, is it?" And ever since that day, he has slowly and steadily grown in confidence on and off the court. He had a couple weird seeding games. Remember those? He had 8 points in one game, 9 points in the other. I don't. It was so long ago. It's pretty irrelevant now.
He didn't care, Brett.
He didn't care.
Yeah.
And now he is dominating. I like what he's done the last 4 games. He's made only 1 3-pointer, and that's good because I feel like he might have fallen in love with that long-distance touch in the seeding games. Maybe in that first round against Portland. Now he is all business, down low, guys. He is not settling for anything. He'll take a couple cursory threes if it's open, but he is going hard in the last 2 rounds at an undersized Houston team and a not real physical Denver team.
Prez brings up some great points, James. And listen, you just know when it's a guy's time. He looks comfortable, right? He's looking the part.
Absolutely. And, you know, coming from New Orleans, like you said, to L.A., not only to a big city where he's under the microscope, but it's who he joined. He could have come here and been the only elite star with someone else, but he came and joined LeBron. So automatically, you got to up your ante. And you're having conversations with LeBron. They go out to dinner. They're real close. LeBron is encouraging him on how to be a monster star in a big city. He has the talent, but he just has to bring it every night. So I think, you know, being associated with the Laker brand, playing with LeBron, and being under the big lights has challenged him. And, you know, in L.A., you got to meet that challenge.
Yeah, and tough juice on the other side, you have Jokic. So skilled, such a great passer. We've seen his heart throughout these playoffs. He's been incredible, but the Lakers play fast and physical with him. And that's how you neutralize him. Can they continue to do that?
Yeah, I think so, because you have 2 well-rested guys in Dwight Howard and clearly JaVale McGee. And JaVale McGee used to play for the Denver Nuggets, so you know that he wanted to get back at that organization in the worst way. And also, when you look at Anthony Davis, you can't hide Joker. Every time he's on switch outs or anything, he's running out with a switch out. Okay, you got Anthony Davis who switched like a guard guarding him on the perimeter. Oh, Kyle Kuzma, close out. Oh, you got to guard that. LeBron James, oh, you never want that action. And there's so many guys that can just stretch him out away from the basket, and then when they get the loose balls and the opportunities, they're running the floor, which, you know, it's like running in quicksand for him sometimes.
Yeah, that key was the foul trouble, too. I mean, I'll take 21, 6, and 2 for Jokic any game of the week. All right, tip-off minutes away in Orlando. Lakers prepare to take the floor. Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Take your shot is next.
Spartans.
Access Sports at Lakers is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealer. Today is the day to save big and drive home a new Toyota Camry. We make it easy.